everyone. Myself Viharika. I am working as Assistant Professor from the Department of Information Technology from MLR Institute of Technology, Hyderabad. In this lecture, I am going to discuss what is software development process model. Previously, I have discussed introduction to software engineering design and process and project. Okay. Now, let us look the overview of this concept. Today, I am going to discuss introduction to software development process models as well as waterfall model as well as prototype model. Now let us discuss what is introduction to software development process models. A software development process model is a structured framework. It is used to plan. Next, it is used to design, develop, test and maintain a software product. It is a structured framework that is used to plan, design, develop, test and maintain a software product. It defines a step-by-step methodology. As we have seen that plan, design, develop, test and maintain, it comes under the step-by-step methodology process that guides developers, project managers, testers and stakeholders throughout the software development lifecycle, that is SDLC process. This model serves as a blueprints, or we can also call it as roadmaps that outlines how tasks should be carried out, what order they should follow and how transitions between phases should be happen. From one phase like planning to design is one phase, how the transition is going to happen in this we are going to discuss. In other words, the process model provides a generic guidelines for developing a suitable process for a project. The core purpose of this model is to standardize the software development process. It ensures the quality and efficiency. It reduces the risk and deliver reliable software systems that meets customer or business needs. This project is main aim to deliver a reliable software system that meets the customer or business needs. Now let us discuss what are the core objectives of process models. Here we are having 5 types of core objectives. One is structured progression, quality assurance, predictability, stakeholder communication and risk management. Now let us discuss what is structured progression. It provides a clear path from initial concept to final product. That is, it provides a clear path from the requirement analysis to from the development process, deploying method, that we call it as initial concept to final product. Next, let us discuss what is quality assurance. It embedded practices like verification, validation and reviews. When we are creating one project, it checks the verification for the project and validation for the project, and also it collects the reviews from the customers. That entire process was going to done by quality assurance team. Okay. Now let us discuss what is predictability. It helps estimate timeliness, cost, resources and outcomes. In this predictability, we are having to estimate, we are going to deal with the estimate timelines of the cost, resources and outcomes. Now let us discuss what is stakeholder communication. It creates transparency and alignment with business goals. What is risk management? Minimize technical, operationals and financial risk is done in the entire risk management process. These are the 5 core objectives of process models. Now let us discuss how it works. What are the key phases in this process models? Through process models may vary, most include the following common stages. As we have having waterfall model, agile model, spiral model, V model, RAD model. These are the different models that includes in the process model. Even though we are having the common stages in that models also, like requirement analysis, system design, implementation, testing, deployment, maintenance. These are the common stages that include in that process. Now let us discuss what is requirement analysis. understanding what the user wants. That comes under the requirement analysis. System design will create architectural and technical blueprints. Okay, in the implementation part, we are completely dealing with the coding part, writing actual code based on the design only. We are going to, after completing this requirement analysis, we are going to create the design, and after completing this design phase, we are going to implement the coding process. Next, after completing that coding process, that QI team will validate the testing works as intended. It checks the code may works perfectly or not. Next stage is deployment. It delivers the system to the end user environment. If once the project is completed, then the team will deliver the project to the user. After that, maintenance, fixing bugs, updating software, and adapting to changes as per the user needs. Any changes occurred in the project, it is going to change the reviews. Each software model defines how these stages are organized and executed, whether linearly, iteratively, incrementally, or adaptively. These are the process models. Now, let us discuss what is waterfall model. Winston Royce introduced the waterfall model in the year of 1970. This model has 5 phases. Just now we have discussed. One is requirement analysis and specification, design method, implementation and unit testing, integration and system testing, and other one is operation and maintenance. This also include the five phases, that is requirement, design, implementation, integration and system testing, operation and maintenance. The developer must complete every phase before the next phase begins, because it takes lot of months or years to complete one phase in the waterfall model. This model is named as waterfall model because it diagrammatically resembles a cascade of waterfall method. Let us observe the structure of the waterfall. This is the structure of the waterfall. Here you can observe this is the systematical approach of the waterfall model. First, we have included requirement analysis, design phase, implementation and unit testing, integration and system testing, and finally we have operation and maintenance phase. This include in the waterfall model. Now let us discuss each individual phase in the waterfall model. What is requirement analysis and specification phase? The aim of this phase is to understand the exact requirement of the customer and to document them properly. Both the customer and the software developer work together so as to document all the functions, performance, and interfacing requirement of the software. In this phase, a large document called software requirement specification. Mostly the waterfall model may deals with the small small projects, but if may deals with the large projects, that we call it as software requirement specification document is created, which contain a detailed description of what the system will do in the common language. Now let us discuss what is design phase. This phase aims to transfer the requirements gathered in the SRS, that is software requirement specification, into a suitable form which permits further coding in a programming language. It defines the overall software architecture together with high level and detailed design. All this work is documented as a software design documented. After completing the requirement process, next we'll go for the designing phase only. After designing process, we'll go for the implementation method. During this phase, design is implemented. If the SDD is completed, the implementation or coding phase proceeds smoothly. After completing requirement phase, design phase will come with the implementation phase smoothly, because all the information needed by the software developers is contained in the SDD process only. During testing, the code is thoroughly examined and modified. Small modules are tested in isolation initially. What is unit testing? It tests into the small modules, that we call it as unit testing. Here also implementation process also, this unit test may tested into the small modules in isolation initially. After that, these modules are tested by writing some overhead code to check the interaction between these modules and the flow of intermediate output. Okay. Now let us discuss what is integration and system testing. This phase is highly crucial as the quality of the end of the product is determined by the effectiveness of the testing carried out. The better output will lead to satisfied customer, low maintenance cost, and accurate results. Unit testing determines the efficiency of individual modules. As we have discussed, the unit testing may test the individual modules. However, in this phase, the modules are tested for their interaction with each other with the system. In this integration test, it will be tested with each other. Now, let us discuss what is operation and maintenance phase. Maintenance is the task performed by every user once the software has been delivered to the customer, installed and operationally. That comes under, these are the 5 phases that include in the waterfall model. One is requirement analysis, design phase, implementation and unit testing, integration and system testing, and other one is operation and maintenance phase. Now let us discuss what are the advantages of using waterfall model. This model is simple to implement. Also, the number of resources that are required for it is minimum. The requirements are simple and explicitly declared. They remain unchanged during the entire project development. For example, suppose this waterfall model has completed requirement process. It is not changed according to the customer needs. It doesn't go back. It goes to the designing phase for the next implementation. That is the advantage in the waterfall model. But this process may done perfectly when it deals from the requirements phase to design phase. The start and the endpoints for each phase is fixed, which makes it easy to cover progress. The release date for the complete product was well and its final cost can be determined before development. It gives easy to control and clarity for the customer due to a strict reporting system. These are the advantages in this waterfall model. Now let us look what are the disadvantages of waterfall model. In this model, the risk factor is higher. So this model is not suitable for more significant and complex projects. Like this this model is not suitable for the large project as well as the complex projects. This is suitable for only small projects. This model cannot accept the changes in requirements during the development. As we have discussed, from one phase to another phase, if one phase is completed, we are entering for the another phase. It does not change in the previous phase. So that was the disadvantage in this waterfall model. Now it becomes tough to go back to the phase. For example, if the application has now shifted to the coding phase and there is a change in the requirement phase, it becomes tough to go back and change it. Since the testing done at a later stage, it does not allow identifying the challenges and risk in the earlier phase. So the risk reduction strategy is difficult to prepare. That is the advantages in waterfall model. What is the use and what are the real-time example for this waterfall model? Let us discuss. When we are going to use this waterfall models, requirements are clear, fixed and won't change. Project is small or medium size, it is suitable for waterfall model. How it works in, let us take the real-time example for this waterfall model is online food delivery app. So I am going to create one online food delivery app. How I am gathering the requirement, design, implementation, testing, deployment, maintenance. Let us have a look in this. Requirement gathering. Document all future. Whether for my app, I need login, menu, order tracking, and payment. Designing is for design UI or UX, database schema, and backend logic. Implementation parts, developers build all the features at once only. Testing may see that quality assurance team tests the entire app after the coding is completed. Once the requirements, we have collected all the requirements for the app, next we go for the designing phase. Once the designing phase is completed, next we go for the implementation phase. After completing that implementation part, we are going to go for the testing method, whether the app is working perfectly or not. It is collecting the order track, or it is taking all the orders and payments, everything, it is fine or not. We are going to check in the testing method. After that, we are going for the deployment. Here the process is that app is going to launched here. The maintenance is handle issues post launch. Is any issues with this app, we are going to rectify by using this app. If users later demand for the wallet integration or voice search, if it's too late or expensive to make the changes. If any additional requirements like wallet integration or voice search in the app, they may ask for the request. It takes much long time because of the more expensive. Now let us discuss what is prototype model. The prototype model requires that before carrying out the development of actual software, a working prototype of the system should be built. This prototype is developed based on the currently known requirements. What are the requirements? Large project, business projects, everything we are having. Based upon these requirements only, we have designed the prototype model. The prototype model is an SDLC model where prototype is an earlier approximation of an final product. It is built, tested, and refined through multiple iterations until an acceptable prototype is achieved. It helps customers and developers understand the requirements of the software more clearly. As I'll show one architecture for this prototype, let us discuss in this. This is the architecture of prototype model. Here, first of all, we are gathering the requirements of the customer. Next, we are going for the designing phase. If the designing phase is completed, next we go for the prototype phase. Next, we go for the customer evaluation. Customer evaluation. Whether the customer was satisfied with the design or prototype or not. If the customer is not satisfied, again he will go for the design phase, prototype, and customer evaluation. Once the customer is satisfied with the project, then only we go for the coding, testing, and maintenance. Okay, this is the architecture of prototype model. The phases of prototype model are, just now we have discussed. One is requirements gathering and analysis, quick design, build prototype, customer evaluation, refinement, and engineering product. Requirements gathering and analysis. Basic requirements are gathered from the client here. Quick design means a preliminary design is created for the prototype. Build prototype means the initial version of the software is developed rapidly. Customer evaluation. User interact with the prototype and provides the feedback. Whether he was satisfied with the design, prototype, and everything will collect for the customer evaluation. After completing that, based on the feedback of the customer, the prototype is going to improve. After that, we are going for the engineering product. After approval, the actual system is developed using the refined requirements. Based upon the customer requirements, we are going to update the project. Then only we are going to release that project into the market. These are the phases of the prototype model. Now let us discuss what are the advantages of prototype model. It reduces the risk of incorrect user requirement. Good where requirements are changing uncommitted. Here you can observe previously waterfall model cannot change the previous phase. That is, for example, In waterfall model, we cannot change the requirements or designs based upon the customer need. Here in this prototype model, we are able to change the modifications of we are able to do the modifications by using the customer's needs. Good where requirement are changing and uncommitted. It is regular visible process aids management. It supports early product marketing. It reduces maintenance cost and errors can be detected much early as the system is made side by side. If any errors available in this project, it can be done immediately. This is the best advantage in prototype model. Now let us discuss what are the disadvantages of prototype model. An unstable, badly implemented prototype often becomes the final product. Okay, based upon the customer requirements, we are creating some project, but it may be bad to the market also. So it is an unstable, badly implemented prototype. Badly implemented project often becomes the final project. Requires extensive customer collaboration, cost customer money, needs committed customer, difficult to finish if customer withdraw. Maybe too customer specific, no probe market. It is difficult to know how long the project will be last. Okay, here in this prototype model, it is difficult to know whether the project will be stay in the market for long years or not. We doesn't predict easily. Easy to fall back into the code and fix without proper requirement analysis, design, customer evaluation and feedback. Prototyping tools are very expensive. Special tools and techniques are required to build a prototype. It is a time consuming process. It takes a lot of time to develop the process. In the next lecture, I am going to discuss the different types and models that include in the software development process models. Next, let us discuss. For this also, I have taken one real-time example, that is mobile wallet app development. For this, let us take one scenario. A fintech startup wants to develop a mobile wallet app like Google Pay or Paytm or PhonePe, but they are unsure about the final features and user interface. They only know the basic needs, how to send or receive the money, view transaction, how to link the bank accounts. That only the user may know these details only. How prototype model is used. First of all, requirement gathering. The client explains the basic version, a simple digital wallet for transferring money, but they are not sure how the app should look or what exact feature include in that. So, after gathering that requirement phase, we are going for the quick design. The development team creates a rough UI or UX mock-up with the login screen, dashboard with send money and transaction history, and it may going to link with the bank also. This may include in the quick design. Now let us discuss what is the prototype development for this app. A clickable mobile app prototype is built using a prototype tool like Figma, Adobe XD, or even an Android app with limited functionality. Next, let us discuss what is customer evaluation. The startup team interacts with the prototype size and realize they want to add QR code scanner along with the money receiving payment history and linking with the bank, and we are sending the money and they want to add a QR code scanning. The dashboard needs to a cleaner look. User needs to see reward points as well as the cashback methods in that particular app. Next, we are going for the refinement process. Based on these feedbacks, the prototype is going to revise the app again and the new features are added like QR code scanning and dashboard clean look and reward points as well as the cashback. These are the new features were added based upon the customer needs. Multiple rounds of the feedbacks and iterations may happen in this prototype. Final product development. Once the client approves the refined prototype, the actual development of the complete mobile app begins using proper architecture, backend APIs, and security measures. These are the 6 methods used with the mobile app like PhonePe, Google Pay, and Paytm. This is the real-time example for prototype model. Thank you.